A miner hears his son scream from behind the containers. He runs over and sees the boy hanging over a deep black hole, barely holding on. The father grabs his hand and tries to pull him up, but something hidden inside the darkness pulls harder from below. For a few seconds, he can still see his son's face. Then, the boy is dragged into the pit, and the mine goes silent. 1 year later, a guide named Ariane is studying old maps and missing town reports about a place called Shookham Hills, a town that disappeared from the map in the 1970s, and whatever took that boy is still waiting underneath it. To understand what really opened beneath Shookham Hills, we go back to the mining site, where workers are blasting deeper than they should. Among the miners is Shutman, a supervisor working beside his son, Eric. Eric is worried about a young co-worker who recently got hurt on the job. He tells his father the kid is decent and deserves mercy, but Shutman says personal problems cannot interfere with the mine. The boy will probably have to go. Eric keeps asking for one second chance. Shutman only says they will discuss it later and walks away. That small delay becomes the last normal moment between them. Seconds later, Eric is knocked aside near a container, as if something rushed past him too fast to see. Shutman runs back and finds his son hanging over a deep opening. He grabs Eric's hand and tries to pull him up, but something from the pit strikes him and throws him aside. He gets up again, desperate to help, but Eric is already slipping into darkness. After hitting his head, Shutman can barely move. Through the blur, he sees Eric still alive, terrified, and reaching for him. Then the unseen thing drags the boy down, and the mine swallows him completely. 1 year later, we meet Ariane, a professional guide who treats danger like a job requirement. She studies old articles, maps, and marked locations connected to Shookham Hills, but her serious face makes it feel personal, not just professional. Then she gets a voicemail from Darren. He says his team is packing essential equipment and they will meet her tomorrow. After the message, Ariane organizes photos and notes about Darren and the men coming with him. She has already checked their backgrounds, showing she never walks in blindly. Then she pauses on an old childhood photo of herself with her father. For a second, the tough guy disappears, and we understand Shookham Hills means more to her than money. The next day, Ariane drives Darren's group toward the missing town. With him are Sean, Terry, and Jaime. They ask how many people have searched for Shookham Hills before them, but Ariane shuts the question down. She does not discuss past clients. Shookham Hills disappeared from maps after the 1970s, and no one seems to know what happened to its people. The road gets stranger the deeper they go. Terry keeps complaining because there are no proper maps, no road names, and no signs of the place. To him, they are driving into nowhere. Jaime teases him for doubting their guide, so Terry tries to act useful and asks Ariane if she needs help. She calmly tells him he can help by staying quiet. That ends the conversation. After hours on the road, Ariane stops at a small store for supplies. She tells the others to stay by the vehicle, though they step out to stretch. Darren checks on Sean, who has been silent most of the trip. Sean says he is fine, but he is gripping a small black stone with a cross, like he already feels something is wrong. Inside the store, the atmosphere is instantly uncomfortable. Strange jars sit on the shelves, the lighting is dim, and the place feels hostile to strangers. Ariane buys water and coolant, then asks about the route to Shookham Hills. The mood changes the second she says the name. The store owner first pretends he has never heard of it, but when Ariane keeps pressing, he warns her to go back the way she came. His words sound simple, but his face says something else. Don't look for that place. Ariane leaves, but the warning continues. As soon as she is gone, the owner contacts someone and reports that there is a problem. Back at the vehicle, Ariane hides the truth. When the team asks about the route, she says they are close. By now, it is clear she is not just a regular guide. She has her own reason for coming here. As they continue, Sean speaks up. He says they should not be here and should turn around. Darren argues with him, focused on science, but Sean seems disturbed because whatever he expected to find is not there. Then, Ariane notices another vehicle behind them. At first, it could be coincidence, but when it keeps matching their route, she tests it by changing direction. The vehicle follows. She speeds up and everyone panics, telling her to slow down, but Ariane keeps control. She turns off at the right moment and the suspicious vehicle passes by. That is when she understands the trick. The locals were not just following them, they were pushing them away from a certain road, so the place where that vehicle slowed down must be the area they wanted hidden. Ariane turns back. She tells everyone to watch for any opening, path, or clue. Soon, deep in the woods, they find electric fencing. Darren almost grabs the gate, but Ariane stops him and reminds him it is live. Sean asks the obvious question. Why would anyone put electric fences in the middle of a forest? The answer is simple. Something is either being kept out or being kept in. Darren and the others ignore the warning signs and focus on crossing. Ariane pulls out rope and creates a safe way over. One by one, they cross the fence and enter the restricted land. After pushing deeper, they finally reach the abandoned Shookham Hills mine. The place is silent, forgotten, and waiting. As they explore, Darren's team collects samples, believing they have found exactly what they came for. Before dark, they set up camp near a calm lake and discuss Shookham Hills. On the surface, it almost looks peaceful, but after the missing town, scared locals, hidden fence, and impossible mine, they have not found adventure. They have found a warning. Around the quiet lake, the team asks the question hanging over the trip: what really happened to Shookham Hills? Darren gives the safest answer. Maybe sinkholes opened under the town, maybe gas leaked from the mine, and maybe the disaster forced everyone out before the place vanished from the maps. It sounds scientific, but even he cannot prove it. Sean is not convinced. He brings up an old story about a massive hole in Siberia where people claimed a microphone lowered into the depth picked up sounds like distant screaming. To Sean, Shookham Hills may not be just a geological accident. Maybe someone found something similar here and buried the truth. Darren shuts that down instantly. He believes in evidence, not legends, and the conversation turns into science versus faith. Sean keeps saying the official story feels too clean, but Darren gets annoyed and walks away, embarrassed that a member of his own research team is talking like the place is cursed. While they argue at camp, the locals face their own problem deeper in the woods. Shelby arrives with 2 men to repair the damaged fence. At first, they wonder if someone cut through it, but after checking the wire, one man realizes it was not sliced, it was pulled open. That scares them more, because whatever did this had strength. One of Shelby's men, Kane, searches alone with a flashlight. He tries to stay calm, but the forest is too silent. Then he finds the broken section near a sinkhole. A strange noise rises from a small opening in the ground. Kane leans closer, making the worst possible choice. Something bursts out and pulls him into the dark before he can react. Back at camp, Jaime picks up Ariane's knife out of curiosity. Ariane instantly snaps and takes it back, like he touched something sacred. This is not just a tool. It clearly belongs to a painful memory, so she locks it away in her bag. Nearby, Terry talks with Darren, who explains that one of his colleagues recommended Ariane for this expedition, so she was chosen for a reason. But the more we learn about her, the more it feels like she chose this mission too. At the fence, Schuttman arrives and checks the damage. He asks about Ariane's group, and the others say they probably scared the outsiders away. Schuttman does not relax. He orders them to make sure those people leave and never return. The next morning, Ariane's team moves deeper into the woods. They find pieces of soundproofing foam, the kind used to block noise in studios. Darren is confused. In the middle of an empty forest, what were these people trying to hide? Then they find a huge sinkhole. Before they can study it, the same vehicle from earlier appears, so the group hides until it passes. After that, they keep going and reach a rusted, abandoned settlement. The buildings look dead, but the team rushes in. This is the proof they came for. Inside one old building, fog hangs in the air. They record everything. Then Ariane opens a door and finds the real target waiting beyond it, the Shookham Hills mine. The area is covered with sinkholes, smoke, fences, and the feeling that people did not leave peacefully. The team approaches the biggest hole, which is protected by several electric barriers. Instead of treating that as a warning, they remove the fences and lower their scanner and camera inside. Terry listens through the headphones first. Suddenly, a deep, violent sound blasts through the equipment. He rips the headphones off, and now everyone hears it. Low, animal-like noises rising from underground. Then the camera rope tangles around Terry's leg. Before anyone can free him, something yanks him into the sinkhole. The others rush to the edge, calling for him, but Terry is already below, screaming from the darkness. Ariane and Jaime climb down to rescue him. Inside, growls echo from every direction, making it impossible to know where the creature is. They search as long as they can, but Terry is gone. Above ground, a local man named Dale arrives and loses control when he sees the sinkhole open. He pulls a gun and warns Darren and Sean to stay away. They explain that Ariane and Jaime are trapped below, but Dale cares more about sealing the hole than saving anyone. Then he cuts one of the ropes. Sean panics and hits him with a rock, knocking him down. Below, Ariane realizes the rope has been cut and climbs back up with Jaime. Once they see Dale unconscious, the group steals his vehicle and escapes. Now Sean is done staying quiet. He blames Darren for dragging them into this nightmare and demands to know who is really funding the expedition. Before Darren can answer, the stolen vehicle drops into a ditch and gets stuck. Ariane says they must continue on foot and reach the fence before nightfall. Back at the mine, Dale wakes up alone. The sun is almost gone, his truck is missing, and the sinkhole is open. He radios his people to report what happened, but moments later, something attacks him and drags him away. In the woods, Ariane's group hears a monstrous scream tear through the darkness. They kill their flashlights and switch to night vision, hoping the creatures cannot see them first. The woods go silent for 1 second. Then Sean is gone. A creature bursts from the darkness and snatches him before anyone can react. Ariane, Darren, and Yaimi run through the trees and somehow find a truck in the middle of nowhere. The driver takes them to Schuttman's base, but Sean does not make it out. Inside, Shelby orders the survivors to sit down and stay quiet. Ariane studies the room and sees creature photos pinned to the walls. Then she notices something more personal, a picture of Eric, Schuttman's son. When Schuttman enters, Shelby reports what happened to Kane and Dale. Darren recognizes Schuttman as one of the men connected to the old mining company, but Schuttman says that life is over. Now, he only guards this place. Darren asks what he is guarding it from. Schuttman says, people like them. Ariane wants the truth about Shookham Hills, so Schuttman gives them the local version. Some call the mine a doorway to evil, some call it purgatory. But whatever name they use, the danger under that ground is real. Before he can explain more, the radio brings worse news. The creatures are spreading. Shelby demands to know which sinkhole Ariane's team opened, because if it stays open, the whole fence line could fail. Schuttman sends them out to seal it immediately. On the way, one local warns that the creatures are already nearby. Then Elroy draws the monsters away, giving the others enough time to hide inside a house. There, Shelby explains the rules. These creatures hunt by sound, and their tentacles can paralyze a person with one touch. In simple words, if one grabs you, running is over. Before anyone can breathe, the creatures attack the house. The group escapes through an underground tunnel, but Shelby separates from them to distract the monsters. Ariane, Darren, and Jaime keep moving, only to meet the creatures again. Jaime tries to save everyone with a grenade, but one creature knocks it back toward him. The blast injures him badly, and before the others can help, he is dragged away. Now only Ariane and Darren are left. Darren finally breaks. He admits the expedition was never just about science. A private mining company wanted the rare mineral under Shookham Hills, and Darren came because the reward was too big to ignore. He called it research, but money brought them here. Ariane cannot waste time judging him. She keeps going and promises she will come back. At the fence, Schuttman and his people prepare for the creatures pushing through. When the barrier starts to collapse, he orders everyone to fire. Meanwhile, Ariane reaches the surface and hides, thinking the creatures have passed. But one ambushes her and paralyzes her. When she wakes up, she is on a strange underground raft. A creature is steering it through the dark water, and Shelby's body is beside her. Before Ariane can understand where she is, the creature strikes her unconscious again. Later, she wakes in the creature's nest and finds Darren alive. Sean is there too, kept as a prisoner. In front of them sits the queen, huge, helpless looking, and surrounded by workers. Sean explains that the creatures live like ants or bees. They build colonies, protect their queen, and feed her. Then one of them grabs Sean and carries him straight to her. The queen consumes him. Next, they bring Ariane forward, but Darren has given her one last chance, a grenade. Just before the queen can take her, Ariane forces the grenade into its mouth and runs. The explosion destroys the queen, and Ariane and Darren escape toward the sinkhole they opened earlier. They grab the rope and start climbing, but the creatures swarm below. One climbs after Darren and poisons him. Knowing he cannot make it, Darren cuts the rope beneath Ariane, saving her while he falls back into the nest. Ariane pulls herself toward the opening, barely alive. But the store owner appears above and prepares to cut the rope, choosing secrecy over mercy. Before he can do it, Schuttman shoves him away and pulls Ariane out. Creatures pour from the hole, but Schuttman's team is ready. They burn them back, shoot them down, and seal the sinkhole again. By morning, Schuttman drives Ariane back to her vehicle. He finally tells her the truth behind his obsession. The creatures took Eric, his son, and ever since that day, he has stayed behind to keep them contained. Ariane says the world needs to know. Schuttman says the world would never believe them, and even if it did, it would not be ready. Then he offers her a choice: leave and forget this place, or stay and help fight the thing buried under Shookham Hills. Ariane steps out of the truck. For a moment, it looks like she is done. Then she turns back, gets inside, and chooses the fight.